everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and today I'm taking a look at a pile of party games. So many party games are coming out these days, but many of them are not particularly good. Well, let's take a look through these 7 and see what I think. Tinco is a little game here from DeVere. And DeVere's little games are often not particularly well done, but this one has this like cool animal type theme on it here. It says on the back of the box that we're trying to accept Master Punchen Lo's challenge. Gather up Tinco before anyone else. I'm not 100% sure what it means, but let's take a look. The game comes with a deck of cards, and you are trying to collect 5. And here's the thing. You can get 5 of the same animals. So, hey, maybe I want 5 tigers or 5 snakes or whatever. Or you can go for color shards. So you'll see this is a blue shard, and this is a yellow shard. And here's also a yellow shard on this one. They're harder to see, and if for some reason you want to make your game harder, you can do that. Either way, you're going to shuffle all these cards, including the Tinco card, and you're going to deal them out to everybody. Then everyone's going to start trading. Hey, I got 2 cards. I'm just trading 2 cards to someone else, and they give me 2 cards back. I can trade 1, 5. It doesn't matter, as long as the number you're trading to other people is the same number you're getting back. As soon as someone has 5, they are going to grab one of these tokens. These tokens, which when you put them together, they make a coin here. You'll take one, and as soon as you take one, you don't have to announce you're taking it. Everyone else has to quick grab one. And then everyone has their scoring card here, and if you got the 5 and you grabbed one, you go up. If you grab one, nothing happens. If you didn't grab one and you're left over, you'll go down. And then if you have the card and you did not get, and you didn't get the 5 cards, you also will go down another one. The game keeps going until someone gets here, which they will win, or someone gets a -5, and whoever's highest wins. That's the game. Tinco, if you haven't yet surmised from my explanation of it, sounds remarkably like Pit. First of all, the animals are not particularly easy to distinguish from each other. They have icons in the corner, but the cards, the art is just busy. But using the color shards, why on earth would anybody want to play a game where A, you're using color to differentiate things when you don't have to, and B, where it's hard to do? Like, what is the point of that? I don't get it at all. Other than that, it's kind of like Pit, and Pit already exists. You're trading things. There's a card no one wants, which isn't a variant of Pit. And at the end of the day, it just plays so quickly, but each round ends. There's more negative scoring than there's positive scoring. The whole thing is just, it's dreadful. I really dislike this game. This is a 2 out of 10. I can't find any kind of redeeming qualities in it much at all. Portmanteau is a game that I was interested in. It's the idea of putting 2 words together, like spoon and fork, and then now it's called a spork. But it could have also been called a foon, and that's what this game is. And I like the idea of that. Brunch is a portmanteau. So here you're going to make up your own. Here's how it plays. You're going to have a grid of 9 cards out here from a huge stack of double-sided cards. And one person's the speaker. You'll have these numbers up here, 3 to 8. You're going to take 2 tiles from this stack and put them in this box here. And these are going to show you the location of the 2 objects. So here I have this one and this one. So I'm going to say that's a bagel, so I'll write that here. Whoever's the speaker is going to determine, and that's candy. All right, that's pretty easy. Now I need to put them together. It needs to start with the one word and end with the other. So maybe I'll say bagdy. Bagdy, I would say, bagdy. That's 5 letters. So I show everyone this word has 5 letters. Then everyone has to get together and talk about it, and they're trying to figure out which 2. If they guess the correct 2, great. This 5 goes away. You get rid of every number, you win. But if they're wrong, or they're like, I think it's bagel, and it's this one, or whatever reason, then you turn this over. Now it's dangerous. If a dangerous number gets picked and it goes dangerous again, then you all lose. That's it. Get rid of all the numbers, win. Get rid of one of these dangerous ones, you lose. That's how you play. This game is pretty difficult, partially because those objects are so easy. Like I said, bagel could have been donut. And that's just one. Many of the different things, I look at them, I'm like, what is that? And I'm like, I guess that's sugar. And someone's like, that's not sugar, that's a bag. So there's that. The letter thing feels a little tricky. When you get to 3 letters sometimes, you're like, bod. And people are like, okay, which one of these starts with a B and ends in odd? And I wanted to like this one more than I did. I think it's an interesting idea. The concept's there, But we found it to be just many times guessing and then a whole lot of yelling over, you thought that was a bagel, it's clearly a donut, or vice versa. I want, like I said, the idea of the portmanteau is intriguing, the putting the words together, but the way it works with the letters, I mean, I will say that it's not particularly long. I don't think it's particularly bad, this game necessarily, but I didn't quite like it. I'd give it a 5 out of 10. My favorite things is a game in which it's a trick-taking party game, it says on the back of it. Is pineapple a better pizza topping than Monday as a day of the week? Wait, what? I'm going to show you a little bit about how this plays, and we'll be right back. In this game, players are trying to get the most hearts. You are going to be given a set of sleeved cards of your color, and then you're also going to have a bunch of cards that are going to slide into those sleeves. The sleeved cards that you have are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I hate it. 1 is the best, 5 is the least favorite, and this is one that you hate. Everyone's going to write a category. So I might pick color, for example, and give it to the next person, or board games. And then you're going to get, the person you give that category to is going to write 5 or 6 games, or 6 whatever the category is. In this case, it's games. Write them down. They're going to put their favorite thing in the number 1 spot, then 2, 3, 4, 5, and something they hate. Then they're going to shuffle these cards up, hand them back to you. You then play a trick-taking game. So I might play Risk, and someone else plays light brown, and someone else plays whatever. And you're hoping, so let's see what number this is. This is 5, and light brown is also a 5. Well, in a tie, the player who played sooner wins. But if that person had played light blue, 2 would have beaten a 5. The only exception is if you play the best one, so let's say I played Cosmic Encounter, that's a 1. And then the other person played this one, then they're going to win. They beat the 1. And again, I'm showing you 2 people, but you'd be playing with a lot more people. You're guessing. You don't know what numbers the person has gotten, but you're trying to guess here. Like, if I was looking at these and you knew Tom Vasel wrote them, you'd say, well, Uno's probably the one he doesn't like. That's correct. So you're going to play all the cards from your hand. Whoever wins the trick gets a heart. Once you're done, you erase everything and do it again. If you can't think of categories, the back of the rulebook has a bunch of different categories that you can have. This is the board you write the categories on, and that's sort of how you play. There's a lot of problems for me in this one, and the biggest problem is how the game plays, but production cannot be ignored. You're writing on these cards and then sliding them in the sleeves. It will rub off on those sleeves. It happens every time I played this game, and it's annoying. It just is. It's also annoying to tear everything apart, wipe everything down, put it back together. It's a mess. Let's take that out of the equation. I like trick-taking games. I like party games. I particularly like ranking party games because that's fun. You think this is better than that? No. I love that concept. As a trick-taking game, though, it's not really a trick-taking game. I'm just trying to play the highest number. If you're a start player, you play and you're like, I think tiger's their favorite animal. So you play that, and if someone else says, that's also your favorite animal, you play it. And anybody can ruin the game a bit by making their clues more, cryptic. There's no penalty for making your clues cryptic. You're like, that's not the spirit of the game. Then what is the spirit of the game? The spirit of the game is to make it really clear what your 5 is, and then really clear. And that's not really necessarily easy to do, to make these clear anyway, right? I mean, 5 is easy. Or, I'm sorry, 1, your favorite, which is also weird, but I guess it's your number 1. But in a trick-taking game, a 1 beating a 5 is weird. So that's a mix-up there, too. But, yeah, my favorite game is Cosmic Encounter. What do I do next? So I do 2, 3, 4, 5. No one's going to know that, so I'll go Space Base, my number 2. The number 3, I jump down farther, and then 4 and 5. And so whoever gets these cards is trying to organize them the way they think I've organized them. That's interesting, and that's a game. Then throwing in the trick-taking, the mix of everything just makes it bad. The bad components, the annoyance of setting everything up, tearing it down, the waiting forever while someone goes, I'm trying to think of 5 things. And then the actual playing of the game isn't very interesting at all. It's like, so you think pineapple's a great pizza topping, as opposed to me thinking Three Stooges are a great comedy team. It's messy. And because it's messy, because I really just don't like it at all, I have to give this one a 4. I love the cover. I like the concept in my head, but trick-taking and party, that's not really a combo we need. Impostor Syndrome. which is not really what this game's about. You're an imposter. So they call it Impostor Syndrome, which is a completely different thing. But anyway, in this game, someone doesn't know something everyone else knows. This is like the 8th game that does that. So it needs to stand up in this crowd. Let's take a look.
You're going to put 9 categories here in the middle of the table. These are who would sell the most Girl Scout cookies, who's the best sumo wrestler, whatever they are. A letter is put next to each of them to delineate that. Each player is going to get a handful of cards that are both competitors and cards that are modifiers. So I might have Thomas the Tank Engine, Harry Potter, a Seeing Eye Dog, Guy Fieri, Edgar Allan Poe, and the Hamburglar, and the modifiers with a flamethrower who can turn invisible, who practices witchcraft, with hypnosis training, with no money. And what's going to happen is there's a master key card set aside, and then each person's going to get a player key. Most player keys will look like this, but there's always one that says you are the imposter. So, one person rolls a dice. The starting player, 32. Everyone looks at their card. In this case, 32 says A. So everyone who has a card knows that A is the category we're fighting in. The person who has the imposter has no idea. So everyone's going to then pick. So I want someone who sells the most Girl Scout cookies. I think the Seeing Eye Dog would do pretty well at selling those cookies. The Seeing Eye Dog with hypnosis training. That would be my pick. So we put those down, and then everyone reveals them, starting with the start player, one at a time. You turn over this master key card so everyone can see what the thing is. Okay, so it's A. And then you explain why you picked what you picked. So I explain why I picked the Seeing Eye Dog with hypnosis training. Next person has to say why they picked Zeus with 48 hours to live. And the next person picked Neil Armstrong on a horse. And the next person picked my mom who can fly. And then everyone's going to point to who they think the imposter is. You get a point if you pick the imposter. And if no one picks the imposter, or less than 2 people pick the imposter is going to get some points. And then you draw some more cards, start over, do it again. And everyone gets to be the starting player once, and whoever has the most points is the winner.
The best game for me in this grouping of I know something or one person doesn't know something is Detective Club, but there's also Spyfall, and there's many games in this category where someone doesn't know something and they're trying to bluff their way through it. Impostor Syndrome is going to stand out for 2 reasons. One, I think they did a good selection. They picked a lot of things, and it's particularly kid-friendly until it isn't. There's like one card that's like, on cocaine. All right. So you might want to go through the modifier cards and if you're playing with kids, right? But, you know, the characters are easy. There's not a whole lot of, who is this person? Hey, it's Toucan Sam, and it's, I think they did a good job on that. And the price point's pretty low. I mean, I'm not going to argue that there's a lot of other, the quality is okay, the covers, whatever, and the names, whatever. I did find one of my daughters hates lying in games, and she said this one was easier than most. It was easier for her to explain because you looked at the stuff out there and you put one that you thought matched most of it. You know, that could do several of the things. Then you hope one of those is the pick. And if it's not, if it's another one, you kind of bluff your way through a little bit, but it's not that hard. And sometimes you just don't have a card that matches. So I think it works pretty well. The card thing where you roll the 2 dice and find the letter in the card, that's slightly clunky. I don't know a better way to do it. But it just, that feels a little clunky. I guess you could memorize the letters too. I doubt anyone's doing that. But still, I think overall it works and is one that a lot of people are going to enjoy. This is one I could see being sold at mass market style stores. So I give it a 7 out of 10, Impostor Syndrome. I'm kind of a big deal. Weird shaped box. But this is a play on words here. It's a party game of stretching the truth. And so in this game, you're going to be exaggerating or under-exaggerating. Let me show you.
Each person's going to be the Big Dill once, and you're going to draw a couple cards. Ability to make friends with woodland creatures or skill at driving a moving truck. So I'll pick skill at driving a moving truck. And then I'm going to draw a token from this pile of tokens, and I'm going to make it sound worse than what I can actually do. And I'll say, listen, I'll tell everybody, hey, I can start a moving truck up, but I hit something the last 3 times I've moved a moving truck. I'm not particularly good at it, and I hate it with all my heart. Now, people have to guess where I'm at. Everyone's going to circle one of these if they think I'm exaggerating positively or exaggerating worse, or if I'm right on, and everyone's going to guess, and then I'll reveal. In this case, it's a -1. I'm still not good at moving trucks. Maybe not, I made it sound a little worse. If you guess exactly right, you get 2 points. If you guess one off, you get 1 point. You can click on these bold slices, cross one of those off, and if that is correct, then you will get an extra point if you're exactly right. That's called a bold slice. So you get an extra point there. And you can also get points as the Big Dill if people guess what you said. At least one person gets it right, but not everyone does. So tabletop gaming skills, math skills, ability to use power tools, ability to keep a secret. Everyone's allowed to ask you a question too, a clarifying question, but everyone's going to have to go. And that's what you're going to do. You're going to keep going until everyone's been to Big Deal once or twice if you're playing with 5 or less players. And then whoever has the most points is the winner.
Sometimes a party game doesn't work because players don't know each other well enough. You obviously know what my favorite flavor of pizza is. I don't have a clue. I'm kind of a Big Dill is kind of the opposite of that. It is one where it works better when you don't know everyone else that well. If I play this with my family and my daughter's like, ability to do a cartwheel, and she's like, I'm terrible at doing them, I know she's under-exaggerating. So that's kind of the problem with it. To me, that's a big problem with this game. The other problem is that as you get these extremes are really easy to do. The +1, -1 are trickier to do. And it's this game of telling stories and stuff, and I can see it working. It's just that it's okay. The fact that it works best with strangers is a positive in some ways, but I usually play party games with my friends. So I guess there's an argument that you didn't know me as well as you thought, and you're trying to get it so that people necessarily are guessing or not guessing. It almost feels like the game was made so that we could do this whole pun, and the advertising for this has been really leaning into that. Hey, it's a pickle. Hey, you like pickles? Hey, pickle, pickle, pickle. It's fine. It's a 6 out of 10. It's not something that I think I want to play again. I found it to be interesting slightly, and then I move on to the next party game. So I'm kind of a Big Dill. We go way back, a game of shared memories. Now, this sounds like it's a kind of game like, ooh, remember what happened in the past? Sort of. This theming here of this idea of, hey, let's go back. We're going to make clues based on our shared history. Yeah, you're going to give a clue based on how well you know someone, which is your shared history, which is every party game. So I'm not 100% sure that your shared history thing really matters here. But forgetting that, let's take a look at the game.
In this game, everyone is going to write their name down on one of these boards, which conveniently have a raised edge so stuff doesn't wipe off, and you'll mix it in the box lid. There's going to be some categories played out here in the middle. So we have celebrities, laughter, and products. So maybe I'll pick products. Then everyone is going to go in here and pick a name. If anyone picks the name, their own name, you have to throw them back in and do it again. But I'll write down the name of the person I got here. So here I have Violet, and a product that Violet would like. And so I might write anime comics, which she would yell at me for putting those 2 words together. Anyway, everyone's going to do that. Then I'll read it out. I'll just give the clue. Anime comics. And actually, that's the guess here actually is Violet. And then this would be me giving the clue out. And then Violet might give out her clue and she'll say tacos. And I'm like, tacos? Who's that? And I'm guessing the clue. I'm trying to guess who, each person gets a clue. I'm trying to guess who they're talking about. Once that's done, everybody reveals. If Violet guesses anime comics, I'm going to get 2 points. I'm trying to get her to be the one to guess it. If I guess the one that someone picked for me, I get 2 points. Otherwise, for each correct guess, you get 1 point. That's it. And you're going to add that's the end of the round. You'll erase those. You'll keep your score up here, your total score at the top. And then you'll play some more rounds. After 5 rounds, whoever has the most points is the winner.
There's another party game that is fine. I mean, you just pick a word, if you say favorite fruit flavor, or whatever, and I'll be like, raspberry. or whatever it might be. I think that the number of category cards, there's not too many of them, but you can pick something and say, well, it's definitely Tom. That's definitely Melody. That's definitely Z. You can pick these things that you know these people are going to be like that. And so if you draw that name of someone who's easy, like if you pick me for one of these games, it's easier because I'm so opinionated and everyone knows my opinions on various things, so I'm easier to get. By the way, really annoying that you draw a name, and if anyone draws their own, you throw them back in. I had a game where we did it like 4 times in a row. That's really annoying. You know, everyone draws a name. Good. Last person. It's my own name. Throw them back in, do it again. There's got to be a better rule than that. But anyhow, it's fine. You give the clues, you guess. That's not bad. Again, I don't think it particularly stands out. So this is another 6 out of 10. It's fine. Bad apples, bid, bluff, spoil. In this game, everyone's throwing an apple into a bag, and then you're going to bid on a pile of apples, except someone may have seeded them with some apples that aren't particularly good, or maybe they're amazing. Who knows? But you find out information during the bidding. Here's how it plays.
At the beginning of the game, everyone's going to get apples. Most of them are positive values, although you have a -6 and a -9 rotten apples. You also have an eats highest apple, and you have eats lowest apple. Everyone is going to take an apple each round of the game and throw it into the bag. You also will start with a certain amount of money, this currency, these apple seeds. And then what's going to happen is each round of the game, you're going to play a round for every apple. Everyone throws an apple in the bag. You'll reveal one of the apples. So we're bidding here for 9. And each person is just going to bid 3, 4, 5, whatever. You're bidding higher than the last person. But if at any point you don't want to pay, you will take the smallest amount here. So you can see there's apple seeds, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's assuming we're playing with the max number of players here. You would have less if there was fewer players. And you take them and you're out. Also, when you're out, you'll pull another apple from the bag, which might affect how everyone else bids. And eventually, players are going to be passed or be forced to pass. And each time someone is forced to pass, another apple is revealed. Until the last person passes, whoever wins the bid is going to have to pay what they did. Everyone else gets to keep their apple seeds, and then they get all these apples here. Now this one here eats the highest, so that one's out. And so this person, these kind of cancel each other out. You got 18 points. Hopefully you didn't bid more than 18 seeds for this. Then these are all, they go to the person who won, and then the next person, everyone's going to throw one more apple into the mix, and you'll do it again. At the end of the game, you'll add all your apple seeds together, plus all the apples that you have gotten, the values of them, and whoever has the most points is the winner.
This is kind of a mixed review for me. We're going to start with my rating. This is an 8 out of 10. I really enjoy it. I played this with many groups, and every group has had a great time. It is so fun. You're throwing the apples in, you pull the apples out one at a time, you bid on them, you can just pass, but you don't want to pass too early because you don't want just 3 seeds. I want 5 or 6 so I can do a really good bid later on. And then as the apples come out, oh, that kills the highest apple. Oh, well, that's not any good. Oh, that kills the lowest apple. Hey, but there's a -9. Maybe this is worth more now. Or you don't have to win any. You don't have to win any apples. You could just have a huge pile of seeds. It's probably not the best way to win, but it could be. And I'm amused by this. It's a fun aspect there. There's 10 auctions. You play through them. So why is this mixed? Well, because there's a game called either Felix Katniss or Felicity Katniss, which by Friedman Freeze. And this game is pretty stinking close to that game. In that game, you have cats in a sack that you're throwing in a sack, and you are bidding using cards, and the numbers are slightly different. But other than that, much of the game is the same. This is a much better production, and I like the theme. For some reason, apples is more interesting than throwing a bunch of cats in a sack. But I wonder, it just is so close. I don't know, if it was copied or somehow they managed to design the exact same game, but they need to keep that in mind. Taking that out of the equation, though, this is very entertaining. It is a fun game about bidding on apples, and everyone's involved the whole time. Passing feels good because you get a bunch of seeds to bid in the future. So if you like games like No Thanks and things like that, I think you will enjoy Bad Apples. And there you go, folks. A couple good ones, a couple okay ones, and a couple that I don't like at all. But hey, I bet you all have different opinions. Let me know in the comments below. Until then, I'm Tom Vasel. We'll see you next time on the Dice Tower. everybody, thanks for watching another video from the Dice Tower. Hey, you want to learn more about us, communicate with us? We have a Facebook group, we have a Discord channel, lots of different ways to get involved with the Dice Tower. You can find that in our Linktree link below. So just click that, it will take you and you can communicate with us on Facebook, join our Facebook groups. There's lots of cool things that you can find and become part of the Dice Tower. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Vasel.